Andre, before New York, it was perfectly possible to distinguish what was Christianity and what wasn't. Now it's not anymore. We're talking not only about ideas, but about reactions and feelings, symbols and conditioned reflexes, etc. All of this we are trying to trace back to the historical source and the individual who experiences the situation. Who is one? Does he become himself? To become a spokesperson, an echo of all these, this current of influence. He generally has no idea. He doesn't have and isn't even aware of it. It comes out, he doesn't have it. Nor does he need to, right? It's a characteristic of human beings. It's that any crazy idea you put in his head, he considers it your creation. It's difficult for the individual to... It's only if you are a very specialized scholar in the matter, you'll have the concern to trace the origin of your ideas, which is something I emphatically recommend to all my students. I mean, I neither subscribe to nor reject any idea, without knowing where it came from and how it ended up in your head. And when you go to see where the number of ideas or reactions that you can say are your own is minuscule, the rest you receive from the surrounding culture, that's it. So, when we get to the point of the New Left is terribly important. We follow that practically all the ideas that you see in Brazil today were born with the Eastern Bloc, with the Frankfurt School, right? And with Antonio Gramsci and with the tremendous influence of the American left. Because that's another characteristic of the USA left. It was denying that the American left exists, and at the same time, everything it says is a repetition of what the American left taught, right? When we get to this point, EXE enters another complicating factor, which is the New Age. The New Age has a tremendous influence on the lives of people who have never heard of it. Whenever you hear someone say, no, we have to tolerate the religion of others, we have to accept diversity, right? You're echoing something new. But you don't know where it came from, and it seems natural to you because it's something you heard from a source that seems reliable and that seems to represent the dominant opinion in what you call public opinion. Or is the normal view of things not right? Then, the more you are persuaded by the idea of obesity, the more certain ideas you seem to have. But they seem to translate the very nature of things and not be a current of thought. It even reaches, let's say, the influence, the persuasive power of certain ideas. It becomes such a powerful and profound thing that denying them or ignoring them seems like a mental illness. So, for example, if today in certain circles you question the theory of evolution, that doesn't sound like an idea, an objection you have, more like a manifestation of your ignorance or mental deficiency. You have a kind of neurosis. It's something like that, right? So, continuing here, the more you ignore the origin of your ideas, beliefs, and preferences, the more you imagine yourself as a creator of yourself and free from all external influence, maintain, right? In the illusion of independence. Millions of idiots repeat what they were told to say and do what they were trained to do. Nothing better than the New Age? Never. The movement spread so rapidly throughout the world and imposed new standards of judgment recently, of perception with everything seemingly natural, that nowadays it's difficult to find someone in large urban centers whose most intimate life, even unconsciously, hasn't been shaped or at least affected by it, isn't it? It's useless to look for a set or system of ideas and proposals that define the New Age. There's the most dazzling confusion and multiplicity of sources that not even a comprehensive study managed to achieve. What is not comprehensive today encompasses well. No study has managed to encompass, the person studies together, managed to encompass, and much less order. As for who honors sister-in-law, they will be corrected. I hope so, right? It's the partial interpretations that emphasize one aspect to the detriment of others that make things even more confusing. It's easier to write about this movement negatively, because of what, in practice, if not also in theory, it seeks to destroy. In this case, by the way, this is a common method when the discussion of ideas there seems very confusing. You have to ask the crochet question. Who are they talking against? The current of ideas would define itself, not so much by its intrinsic content, but by the opposition it moves, to some other current that is current. So, that's what Leanne Maria Summa explained. It's the form of a philosophical thesis. Isn't that right, Gob? Okay, but it's a dwarf. It's B. Yes, You ever have a no, right? At this point, there is no doubt whatsoever. Whatever the intentions may be, TOC, the Christian unity of Western civilization, as a mix of religions, traditions, spirituality, magic, and diverse mysticism. Because nowadays the average citizen can no longer distinguish what Christianity might have been. If you take the average citizen, it won't be a big city like Sao Paulo or New York. Paris, a little less so. You'll see that the set of feelings, of reactions that this individual, considered a manager, has for him, what does that represent? God has nothing. Christianity is all a new era thing. I mean, it's already 111, a reworked, altered version. So, once I saw a series of interviews with people on the street, asking people, do you think you're a good person? Do you think that when you die, you'll go to heaven? 100% answered yes. I'm going to heaven, and why are you going? Crucially, because I'm a good person. I don't harm anyone. I don't speak ill of people. I don't steal. No, I didn't steal, I killed, etc., etc. So the individual thinks that where the criterion for the final judgment is these banal virtues of everyday life. You understand that virtues, decency, honesty, etc. He thinks that's the substance of Christianity. That has nothing to do with it. That's it. It is. It's the ideology of modern democracy, isn't it? How can one, this set of banal reactions, in fact, replace understood as dominant before the advent of this new Christianity? It was exactly the New Age. I mean, before New York, it was perfectly possible to distinguish what was Christianity and what wasn't. Now it's not anymore. And that means that Christianity, in quotation marks, in people's minds, is eminently a product of the New Age and not a Christianity, probably, he says. Well, overall, the New Age had this effect, right? Yes. So, in that sense, it's a compliment, or an extension of the famous Frankfurt School program that George Lucas, at the beginning of the Frankfurt School, renounced as the destruction of Western civilization. Isn't that what we oppose, to understand it? The young madman, huh? What was he opposing? I mean, socialism? I mean, it's not so much capitalism, but it's a thing called Western civilization, or is it Judeo-Christian use? That's what we need to destroy. But why did this create around capitalist democracy a protective shell, so that proletarian ideology, if it is, reveals itself as impossible to penetrate there, it works. So we have to destroy this protective layer. Yes, and then proletarian ideology, that will have a chance. This was a program launched more or less by the biologist closing. And then you see here, whether or not there is an organizational connection in that sense. And today I know that it exists, doesn't it? But that's not our subject. The New Age appears as just another chapter. My dear heroes, is this an undertaking of destruction or solution, or absorption or overcoming of Christianity?